Hello folks, Brew here. Today I want to speak about what deck I played at the Grand Prix Amsterdam in Standard and why I played it and what did I think about the format and the metagame before the events and what it turned out to be. So I'm going to review the results from both Standard GPs last weekend. So this is a current metagame basically, but it was more or less what I expected. So basically, I had the Marvel decks in mind, the Blue-Red Control, um, then Mardi vehicles and some Zombies decks as your kind of like top 4 decks. Of course, I was aware before the tournament, especially um, with the Magical Lands lists, so the trends. So I saw a lot of Timor Energy, I saw some number of black green, but not that much. I saw different red green decks, Energy, Guts, Pummeler. Uh, they have the same core basically though. I had the blue white in mind, that's for sure. So yeah, this stats basically reflect what I expected, but I had 4 decks that I wanted to bait. And yeah, then we can see stats from here. I knew that if I wanted to be controlled, that's basically blue-white, I mean blue-red, and there is only one real combo deck, which is Marvel. Then you had different flavors of aggro. So what I ended up playing was this, blue-red control. This is the list I registered. I don't think it's ideal. Basically, I arrived at this because the options I had was either some version of Blue-red control, for which I managed to find cards from teammates and friends, and the other option was mono black zombies. Then there was my own brew of Esper Control, which you can see the deck tech for on the channel in the standard playlist, although it has evolved since I posted the last deck list. Then what else? I considered before making the trips to Copenhagen and to Amsterdam, take with me blue-white flash tempo. I didn't really like the matchups against aggro decks with um, vehicles version. I didn't really like this heavy spirits version that well, and boy was I wrong. Because, well, one thing is that if you play against random decks, another thing if you play it against decks that you are likely to see at the Grand Prix. So very different stats, so I was delusional. Deck was good, probably should have played that, I suppose. Definitely shouldn't have played the blue-white SRAM reservoir combo, that's for sure, but should have maybe worked more on the blue-white tempo. Either vehicles or heavy spirits, both seemed good for last weekend, but yeah. I was a bit delusional. I didn't like my results. I didn't. Well, maybe one of the factors was also that I didn't really enjoy playing the deck. Now I have to reconsider because I have some kind of open team trios, team constructed events with Legacy, Modern, and Standard, and seems like I'm on the Standard part. I don't know what I'll be playing, but I'm leaning towards some sort of vehicles decks. I'm thinking currently of toying with the idea of something like 4-color vehicles, still with the Scrounger splash, but with spell colors, and also with a green splash for things like Blossoming Defense, because that on the spell color is pretty nice and pumps, so you can eat a creature in combat to block well. But then again, there is Avacyn, there is Selfless Spirit, things like that, and counter magic, so I don't know. Currently building, but mostly for fun, some very weird decks like Grixis, Eldrazi's, Absent Evolution combo. And I even built now Blue Red Drake, well, the really updated version of it, so watch out for that. So for those semi-casual matches, for just leisure basically, but I'll be using the Amsterdam top 4 list of Asper aggro. Sorry for such a large turret, but I wanted to mention all this. As for the deck, nothing really that odd here, maybe just a commitment deck which most people cut. But it was actually kind of good because it's good against Mardu, it's good against, of course, against Marveler like Emrakul, well, not Emrakul, Ulamag. It's just a flexible card that's also good in the mirror, basically, because it allows you to, you know, stay in the game for longer. Couple of shadows because I guess I wanted more of the 3 mana spells. Didn't want sun, all 3 suns main. Put one into the sideboard, but I'm not sure if this was correct. I did play the mirror, I think, on day 1, and I did play Marvel, but it wouldn't have been that bad, actually. Citizen Scatters, which were actually really good, and I think I should have played one more in the sideboard. Really missed the third scatter in the sideboard, so only 3 sensors because, well, it does cycle, but well, what can I say? People think that you don't need 4 because a lot of the time it's not gonna do its job. I actually think moving on, I will play 4. All 4 sprays because it's okay. I mean, you need this to just not to die to aggros. And of course there is like 4 harnests. Basically, I think I would have played 4 sensors. I would have cut commit, I think. I wasn't really impressed by it. I would have run 4 eliminations. Cut 1 pull, and maybe if I would go up to 4 sensors and 4 eliminations, then I would be able to actually stick with the 24 lands plan. But if otherwise, I would have added 1 more land back to it, because I originally played 25 but then cut to 24 because of some articles and stuff, and because of all the cyclers. But yeah, unless you know, swap to commit and pull for a couple more cyclers, you want to add another land here. I was really punished for mana screws and not just drawing enough lands when I really needed to. So you do want to spell. I do like Outcast. It's a bomb in the mirror, and that's basically it. But it's really important in the mirror. Of course, you side in 4th negates. Yeah, having 3 negates main is a big deal. As I said, probably should have run another scatter. I don't know if 4 things is correct, but with so many like flash decks and Mardu and red green, I think I should have played 4. Towers were great. They're pretty good in the mirror and against all the aggros and zombies. Well, not all aggros. Okay, let's just say that they're good against zombies. They're good in the mirror. Maybe I would board them in against flash decks, but probably not against the more aggressive vehicles decks. I think it's fine against the red-green, but against really aggressive vehicles, it's maybe a bit too slow. That's my experience. Dismissal is good. Maybe should have played 1 more over Expulsion, even though it's so flexible. But I cited it in some matchups, but I don't think you really need it. Maybe I just don't have enough experience with it to justify. So Sphinx for mirrors mainly, and same for Kefnet. I'm not sure which one is better in the mirror. Both are fine, but because both are legendary, so maybe it's... oh no, Sphinx is not legendary. but it's so high costed, and with Kefnet you can keep up the mana for counter spells, and it's kind of same thing for the mirror, but kind of. Okay, it can get countered, sure, but it draws you cards, so which is kind of nice, and actually I liked it against Marvel, because it flies and they can't kill it with Harnessed. Okay, they can't kill Sphinx either, but it's you just not gonna tip out so low against them, and drawing into extra counters to just keep up the pace is like pretty good. Of course, you're not gonna attack with it all the time, but I still really like it. Just one, definitely not two. Yeah, that's kind of about it. Let's just go to the visual view for the deck. So yeah, told you about the changes I would make. Kinda would just make it more square. Sideboard, well, it's okay, but you can just make it smoother. So you definitely want something like Kefnet or Sphinx, but I guess the good part about Kefnet is actually useful more or less in some other matchups like Marvel. That's the thing. Otherwise I like it. So if I would move like the first sounds into the main, then I'll have some free spots. I mean, you definitely want Dismissal still in the deck, because Marvel is not going to go anywhere, and it's still a very strong deck, even though it's kind of been hated out at both GPs and didn't actually take up that much room in top 8, but a lot in top 16 and top 32, so I would say it would still be like one of the best decks, if not the best, if not still the best deck overall. It's just that everybody hates on it so much. I think I would just cut the Expulsion maybe for something. I'm not sure what. Maybe like a third Scatter or something. So probably those are the changes I would make. Okay, so what actually ended up being in Amsterdam? Well, black-green, kind of hybrid black-green 1. Not exactly aggro, not exactly, you know, mid-range. Sort of. Kind of a hybrid between very solid Delirium and black-green Constrictor aggro. I really liked the deck. Apparently it was just what you were supposed to do in this metagame. And the deck actually had one more copy in the top 8. And 2 more energy variants there as well. And red-green, which was also well positioned, snagged as a 1 copy of in. Only 1 Marvel in top 8, 1 blue-red control. We'll have a look at that in a while. And then I really like the Esper list, probably more than Manila's lists. So what he did differently? Okay, he had Sphinx main, which is like really crazy. It's just a dead card against all the aggro matchups. But he still somehow like just lost in the finals. It's okay against Marvel, I guess, but yeah, that's just weird. Maybe he anticipated really a lot of mirror matches. And Dismissal main, again for Marvels, also damn crazy. Okay, one less 3 mana counter. Okay, anticipates 25 lands, which I approve of, especially since he only had 2 eliminations. No pull, by the way. Everybody actually starts to cut the pulls entirely from the deck. 4 sensors though. Expulsion in the main. Well, 6 mana Chandra is actually good. 3 dispels because I guess he didn't want to lose the mirror. Okay, he didn't have the Sphinx sideboard, but 2 Kefnet 6. Okay, third Scatter. talked about this. Only third negate, which is fine, I guess. Flame Curler, I sort of like another sweeper, just a flexible card, I suppose. Yeah, why not? Allows you to mulligan your hand as well. Three things, yeah. Yeah, I like the list, apart from like some main deck decks, which probably you shouldn't do unless you like really anticipate a lot of Mirror and Marvel. So he has a couple decks. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, that's the as per lists of vehicles that I like so far. I don't like the Spears version that well. You probably want to play Initiates before you play any Self Spirit. You can play both if you don't play Hearts and etc. But I like the tempo that Heart gives to the deck. It makes you have very tempo draws with so you and Spectre's just not enough for tempo, and Exemplar gives it, and yeah, really like the deck. The only oddity is 4 of Declaration, which I just swapped for some cards like one more Harvester and one more Sorin, I think, because I like Sorin so much. Side the sideboards, because metagame is shifting, so Sorin is bad against Marvel and Blue-Red, but very good against aggros, and now you see more aggros, like more Mardus and Black-Greens, so I think second Sorin is definitely good, and Harvester is just also good against all the aggro decks, which are now coming back into the format. And then I think I swapped negates for 2 more rebukes. Just kind of gives you more flexibility. I think still negate is good, but I don't know. In a meta game with more aggros, maybe you just want to be more flexible. But this decision could be wrong. But I don't think I would want to ever run like 4 declarations. Maybe he just really wanted to have a lot of removal and a lot of answers against, well, against Tulamogs. I don't know. Okay, this is what happens in Manila, so at another standard GP at the same weekend. Zombies, Mardu decks, Esper deck, actual blue-eyed deck, black-green energy, and 1 Marvel, and 1 Permler, yeah. So, not a huge fan of that list, but it's okay. So, you don't play Hearts, but you have actually same amount of 2-drops, because you play both Initiate and Selfless. Tally is alright, definitely alright. Negates, I guess, because, well, you don't have the Hearts, so you can play Rebuke, and you want ways to counter Marvel. Yeah, it's okay. So Meltdown is weird. I guess it's just good against. It's kind of like Declaration, but at instant speed and still does the same job against all the fast decks. So I don't like the Vizier of Many Faces. It's basically the Embalm clone effect. Okay, it could be cool, like to get it with, I mean, to copy an Ulamog, but you don't get the cast trigger. So I don't know why it's there. Maybe there were some really cool moments on the video or during the matches. I don't really like Jason this deck, to be honest. I mean, you want some way to pro draw, and I like just in certain situations when you need to bounce a fairy, so, but overall really not impressed. 3 Cups of Dusktone is kind of weird, but on the other hand, you have way more actual like 1 and 2 drops. Well, Actually, more or less the same amount, if not less, than in vehicles built. But enough, maybe to justify free, although not a fan. But I don't have that much experience in this regard. Maybe this is correct, because it's actually 1 mana cheaper. I like that the Fumigate actually kills everything and gains you life, which might be very important in some matchups. At the moment I'll play 2 in 1 for Fumigates and see, maybe I'll add more Dusk Dawn. Maybe it's actually that good. And here's the vehicles deck. Which one is this? Oh, this is from Manila, right? This is the second place from the GP, which was quite a bit smaller than Amsterdam, though. So what is weird for me here? Only 3 hearts. It's a legendary, I know, but still. So this is basically a hybrid between the two because, well, you play Selfless 2, 3 Rebukes, so what he doesn't actually play? So here is 1 and 1 on Cast Out and Snare. 24 lands as well. Okay, so he found the slots for Spirit by cutting 1 Initiate and what, cutting 1 Heart, it seems. So it's very close to the Amsterdam deck list. Deck Dusk Fumigate Cullet. What? For reals, how do you cast it in this deck? Okay, Spires and Courtiers, but what? No, that's just way too random. I can get behind Truths. Okay, he boards in a Shambling Vent, that's how. Yeah, the list is okay. Just call it as well as good against zombies, and it's okay in aggro matchups, but it just dies or gets countered. I don't know. Other than Kalitas, I like his list. I don't think that even okay. He had Inferred pull in the deck, so that maybe the push is castable. I suppose I could try this. I don't know. Maybe this is correct, because I'm currently on 2 ships and 2 Saurons. It's weird. Probably wouldn't want just 2 casts out. I don't know. Probably I'll cook something up that is between the two. Between this list and the Amsterdam list? Well, we shall see. So yeah, this wraps it up. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave any feedback below, check out the links in the description. I'll see you next time. Until the next sale, goodbye folks.